everyone, it's Raleigh, and today I'm planning my Hobonichi Cousin for the week of March the 23rd. And this week I decided to use these washies, of course, from Coffee Monster Co. And I picked this one. I think this was from 2 years ago, the monthly kits. It was all flower, centered around flowers. So I thought I'd use this nice, cheerful yellow one because it is officially spring now. Although it's sunny here, it's still a little chilly, but that's okay. So I'm going to use these little strips to cover up the top because I had gotten my order in from Coffee Monster Co. So I finally have some of my days of the week again that I can use. So I'm going to use the thinner bit on top here. And today is Tuesday. So didn't quite reach my, target of getting this done on the weekend or even Monday evening, but that's okay. Get this other piece up here. Last week went, overall pretty well, although it had there was some kind of anxiety and stress around work. I don't know what happened. Hi, Rennie. Sometimes, we joke, is it a full moon? I just had a couple of days at work where it just seemed like I get one thing done, something else would pop up that was urgent, and I kind of deal with that for a couple of hours, and then something else would come up. And that was happening towards the end of the week. So by the time the weekend came, I did have a great opportunity to see some friends and family on Saturday, but I just zoned out on Sunday. And then yesterday, when I got back to work, it was the same start. So I didn't do this yesterday, but I'm getting it done now. Okay, and I just finished putting the kind of color behind because I do once again have these beautiful clear days of the week. And so I think that looks really good. I love this yellow as well. It's really, really pretty. So I think this one's going to be pretty simple. I think I'm going to I decided not to kind of time things out because, again, it's ended up being a bit of a strange week. I have to go in the office, which I thought was going to be yesterday, but it's now Thursday. I actually had people in today replacing my doors, which was fine. But I had the cats kind of in the office with me, and one in particular was getting a little nervous about all the noises, which I hadn't really thought about. And I also hadn't realized how long it takes to install doors, so they were here for a while, but they were very nice. I knew this week was going to be a little bit up and down, so I'll just do the traditional work. And let's see. I don't think I'm going to put the lines kind of down the side, but I do want to use some of this thick washi. I don't know that I want to string it all the way across, so maybe I'll just use a couple bits over here. But something I am looking forward to is that I'm on vacation next week. So that's always nice, especially after, a busier few weeks. But I won't be going away anywhere. It'll be another staycation. And so kind of my hope is to have sort of the Monday and Friday to myself. I have to stick around Monday anyway for some home things. So I'm hoping Monday and Friday, but then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'll be out doing a few things. So that's the plan. And I've started to kind of map out what I want to get done. And of course, March will end next week, so it'll be a new month and a new quarter. And so the other thing I've been doing, and I was doing last week, was trying to get a few more things off my kind of to-do list. And I think, like a lot of people, I'd sort of hoped to start my spring cleaning already, so starting April fresh, but I didn't get to it, so that'll be something else I'm hoping to do. I really like this washi. I like the kind of peachy color in the back and the yellows and green. So I'm going to just put a couple lists at the bottom. This is sort of my standard setup. I'm always, and I, like when I'm using my traveler's notebooks, and sometimes like if I'm at an appointment, I'll sort of plan out the next week. And I do map more stuff out ahead of time, and my intention is to do it here, but I just haven't quite gotten there yet. But something I will say is continuing to work. I'm just putting down this green around kind of the going into the office event. Something that's continued to work is having specific days where I focus on things. So I have one day that's more my home day. So that evening or outside of work, I try to get something done around my home. And then I have another day that's a kind of admin day to do, paperwork or something I need to do on a computer, or just kind of adulting stuff, I guess. And that has been working, having days to do that, dedicated days for that. I'm just going to put the little hard hat, and I'm going to try and find a little car. So yeah, I do have to go in the office on Thursday morning now. It's for a good reason, though. I'm going to get a new phone, which is great, but it's always a little nerve-wracking just making sure that everything, I have to have all my passwords and everything, because when I get the phone, I have to get kind of set up with our systems. There's a couple different apps we use, so I'm kind of glad that it's Thursday, so tomorrow I can do all that stuff. Although I'm really fortunate, the people we have in our office, our IT department, are great, so I'm sure they will help me. But I'll have to remember to put that on the list for things to do tomorrow. And then I'll put the little thing about the door here. I think those were the two bigger things this week. So the rest of it will just be going through my little list I have of things that, I'd like to get done by the end of the month. Okay, yeah, I think this is looking really, really pretty. I don't think I'm going to put a ton of stickers, just kind of some here and there. So I'm going to start filling in these. So I filled in the two kind of, I guess, bigger events or things that were happening. And I am going to put a little garbage can here because I do need to remember that. I'm still somehow behind. We get our garbage picked up every 2 weeks, and I just have to, I have a little shed I keep it in, and I just have to walk it to the back of the building. But over the winter, I think I missed 2 of those, so I'm always like a little behind in how much I take out because we do have a limit. So I'm hoping to get it, because it's also been nice, well, kind of good and bad, that when I look out on my patio, I can see it now because it's not covered in snow, but it's also filled with bags and other things I've just sort of chucked out there. And I love my patio. I spend a ton of time out there, so I really need to, that might be one of my definite to-dos next week, so that if we start to get, warmer weather, although I stay out there as long as I can. I'm happy out there in a sweatshirt and a blanket. I just like the idea of just sitting outside. So we'll put down weekly I'm doing this, and then hopefully I will also be editing and posting this video if all goes to plan. Actually, speaking of phones, I've had it on my list for literally years now to get a new phone for myself, which I haven't done. So maybe getting this work one, and I've had, I think, 2 work ones in that time replaced. So maybe while I'm kind of in the zone, that's something else that I'll do next week. And I am hopefully going to be going to the movies with my friend, but I'm not certain what day, so I think I'll use one of the removable stickies for that. And I think I don't often think of them, but I have these cute little ticket stickers, so maybe I will. Hey, Ren. Poor thing, spent most of the day in the closet while the workmen were here. I forget, because she's actually very, bold and playful and, troublesome in a sweet way. But I do forget that when it comes to like going to the vet or other people around here, she gets anxious, and I'd forgotten I have some meds that I give her normally if I take her anywhere, and I forgot because I just didn't think of it. So she just had some quiet time in the closet for a few hours. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in. All right, so I do have a few other things I think I can put, but not a ton of stuff. And then on the bottom, I think I'm just going to have 3 briefer lists, and I think that'll be it. But let me get a couple more of these things in. So I added a couple things, and I decided, just use the yellow just as a little kind of checkbox for these. And, on the left, I was debating putting like a list or a tracker, but I don't think so. I think I'm just going to put a word. So I think I'm just going to put some yellow down. And I think I'm going to put the word whimsy, because I don't know if you've experienced this, but sometimes a word will just be recurring. So it's a word that's come up in the last week in conversation with, I think, 2 different people, as well as a couple pieces of media that I watch. So maybe that's a sign. I think I'm going to put that down there. I think it's a nice thought, and it's a good counter to some of the kind of frustrations that I've been feeling with a few things at work. Yeah. So let me, yeah, I'll grab the marker. I don't know. I was debating putting a phrase, but no, I think I'm just going to stick with whimsy. And it has been nice the last couple weeks as it's been feeling like we've been coming out of winter at least and into spring. And even things like getting the doors done today or thinking about the patio, it's like I'm starting to, get that feeling that I think you get in spring where everything can be refreshed a little bit. Yeah, so I think it is just going to be put a couple lists on the bottom. I think I might use green because I'm kind of liking the way this looks with just like a hint of green and a hint of yellow. So I'll kind of do something similar to what I did on top. And here we go. And I think I just want to have, what do I want to have? Oh, I want to have plan because I have a bunch of stuff as well as doing this. There's a bunch of things I want to do in my traveler's notebook. And I also want to do my planning for the vacation as well. So I'll start to fill all this in. And I do have to go and check in my traveler's notes, my quarterly list for things to see what else I might need to add. Okay, so I think I've got most of the stuff in. There's a few things I'm not sure about, but I think this is looking good. I like the way that this turned out. Nice little pop of color. And yeah, just comfy and cozy. And hopefully I'll be able to fill in some bits as I go. Yeah, I really like that color. I've been trying to kind of vary the colors week to week. So last week was kind of a bluey brown, and then more like campfire beigey colors. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I can't believe already almost through the first quarter. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you soon.